I just really doubted myself completely, but I did it.
So you're ready to start something new and you're totally not afraid. Okay, well maybe you're a little bit afraid and you want a little bit of guidance so that you actually feel like you know what you're doing while you're starting on this new journey of learning how to become a runner. If you're in this boat, hey, we're in it together.
We're Em and Sky, and we can't wait to take you along on our adventures while we're searching for Squatchy.
I have a hard time considering myself a runner, even though I have now been consistently running for the past almost 4 months, and I have hit my goals, and I'm making really good progress and everything. But there's a part of me that still feels like an imposter if I was to really call myself a runner, because in my mind, a runner is somebody who is running like these crazy long distances and maybe participating in races and have just done it their whole life and just loves to run. That's not always the case though. For me, I learned how to become a runner by simply having the motivation to and having this moment where I realized that I wanted to do this and also just being consistent and just doing it. Just, hey, I'm going to be a runner, so I'm just going to do it. So maybe you don't necessarily resonate with those kinds of feelings of, feeling like an imposter for not doing something perfectly or being the best at it. But I know a lot of people out there are like me who kind of struggle with if you're not good at something right away, you just want to kind of give up on it, or you don't want to keep going, or you just feel like you don't belong. Like this isn't something that you should be doing because it's not something that you're really good at. So anyway, I just want to break apart some of those myths today and give you 3 practical steps on how to become a runner this year. Some of the other myths that I personally thought is that runners enjoy running all the time. That's not necessarily true. You might have heard something that's called like a runner's high, and it's the feeling that you get after a run. And I understand why that term has kind of come to existence. And I will say, I feel great after a run, and I have started to enjoy running. But while I'm actually running, it's still not great, okay? I don't know if it's ever going to get to the point where I'm just truly enjoying every run every time. I don't think that's realistic. I think that there is a lot of just struggle, and it's kind of more of like a type 2 fun where it's not really super enjoyable while you're doing it. Now, there are times where I have a really great run and I feel good the whole time. I don't know exactly what the magic is with all of that and feeling like you had a really good run. But I will say that I think it is a myth that all runners or in order to be a runner, you have to enjoy running all the time. I have pushed myself through running through freezing rain, running in just really bitter cold with snow on the ground and, just cloudy skies, the sun is not anywhere to be found. And I've also run in beautiful weather and had really bad side cramps and shin splints and just just random pains where it's why is my body doing this? I'm trying to do something good for my body, and my body is no. I think the thing is, as I keep pushing myself through these challenges, I keep getting stronger and stronger, not only physically, but also mentally. And running has been just so good for my physical and mental health that I truly am glad that I decided that I was going to become a runner, even though, in some people's books, they might not necessarily qualify me as a runner because I'm not running, half marathons or marathons. But at the end of the day, if you want to become a runner and that to you means running 1 mile, that's great. Whatever your goal is, set a goal and follow these 3 tips and you'll be on your way to becoming a runner in no time. The first thing I want you to think about when you are learning how to become a runner is to get good equipment, specifically your tennis shoes. Your shoes are definitely the most important thing because that is what you're going to be stepping on as you're running all the time. You know, like obviously it's just important, okay? Like that's the most important. Now, when I first started running, I was running in my old tennis shoes just because I wanted to get going and I just wanted to get started, and I didn't want to make a bunch of excuses. And that's great, but there came to be a time when I was like, okay, I need to make sure that I'm supporting my feet well, so that I have good posture while I'm running and that I'm just being supported well and I'm not going to injure myself from having old worn out tennis shoes that just weren't very supportive. So I actually went to the running store in town and got fitted. They actually like took a little video of me running and then was telling me, you know, hey, this is how you run and this is like the weird things that you do with your feet, and so you need this kind of tennis shoe to help support you. I don't completely understand it all, but having somebody who knows what they're doing and can fit your shoe to you it's really nice. I will say it's kind of a luxury, but that was a game changer for me because I just had a lot more confidence, and also I was like, I'm a runner now, I'm earning these shoes and I'm gonna take good care of my feet because they're helping me run miles. The other thing about shoes is that the experts will tell you that they will run out, or not run out, but you will wear through them a lot faster than you might think of replacing them. I will say I'm totally guilty of owning a pair of tennis shoes for like 2 years and thinking that that's fine, but you should be, like, the experts will tell you exactly how long you should be like wearing your shoes before you change them out, but they're saying like it's about 6 months or so. I'm looking at the bottoms of my shoes and I've only had them 2 months and I'm already seeing, okay, yeah, they are wearing out pretty quickly, especially if you are running, you know, 3-4 times a week and or supplementing your runs with blocks, and that's what I'm doing with my tennis shoes. So I am wearing them out, and not that I need to like go out and get a new pair right now, but I do realize that if I am going to be a runner, then that probably means I'll be spending more money on tennis shoes than I'm used to, because I'm going to need to replace them more often. Okay, I'm actually going to insert another category here because I feel like it's kind of its own category. So we're going to talk about safety. Okay, and I was going to kind of include this in gear, but I think that it should be its own compartment. So especially as a young female, or just really anybody, you want to make sure that you are thinking about safety and where you're running, and taking into consideration all kinds of precautions that you should take depending on where you live and where you're running all the time. It's always good if you can run with a buddy, or you know, have a running partner, or at least tell somebody where you're going and how long you're going to be gone. If you are running solo, I do recommend having some kinds of safety devices with you, whether that be like a whistle or mace or whatever you feel comfortable carrying. And that's the key, is that you should feel comfortable with whatever you decide to carry. So if you are carrying mace, practice with it, you know, make sure that it works, right? But make sure that you know and that you're prepared on how to use it, and don't just like be carrying a weapon that you're not comfortable with and that you don't know how to use it. It's also really great if you can take kind of some kind of self-defense class, or you know, anything like that, just to be cautious and be safe. The other thing to think about too is where you're going and what time of day you're going. If you can go, if you don't have a running buddy, you might want to go when you know other people will be either out on the trail or out in the neighborhood, or you know, wherever you're going, that people will be able to, like, there will be other people around, so that if you did have to shout for help, or you know, just other people around is more of a deterrent from people who are trying to cause harm. Now we're going on to the third category, which is, it's really just one thing, but it is technology. We'll just call it technology is the category, but it is the app 0 to 5K. I totally recommend this app 0 to 5K. It has totally helped me become a runner, and literally from zero, literally from nothing. And my husband is the one who told me about this app. He told me about it a long time ago and was like, you could become a runner if you want. There's even this app that's like Couch to 5K. And I'm like, okay, right, yeah, I could never run a 5K. And I literally thought that. I literally thought there's no way I could run a 5K. And I did it.
I just got finished running my first 5K, and it feels so amazing to be able to finally complete this goal that I set out to do a couple months ago. And man, I just really doubted myself completely, but I did it. And it feels so good, and I'm so proud of all the hard work I put in. And yeah, it's just a really exciting accomplishment, and I can't wait to see what this does for me out on the hiking trails. And I already just know it's been so good for my mental and physical health, and I feel the healthiest I've ever felt. I don't know if that's true or not, but I feel just so good and really proud, really excited, really happy.
I am still really, really excited and proud of all the hard work that I've done to hit this goal of running a 5K and accomplishing that, and really just amazing myself with what I'm capable of doing and becoming. And so it's just so exciting when you finally hit your goal. And this app is it's really awesome because it optimizes your runs and optimizes your schedule to your ability on running. And it will either, make things more challenging or less challenging depending on how you're doing on each run, and just give you that progress that you can really be proud of as you are accomplishing your main goal. And with that, we're going to go to now my fourth and final category, which is having motivation to actually become a runner. Okay, let me be real with you and tell you a little bit of the story about why I wanted to become a runner. I was in Colorado with my husband in September, and we were hiking the Roaring Fork trailhead up to Lake Watonga. I was really struggling on this hike. It was a lot longer and steeper than I had been prepared for, and hiking at elevation was no joke, especially because I had been doing some workouts at home and feeling strong with my workouts, but I hadn't really done any cardio like in a long time, and I really wasn't prioritizing my health the way that I needed to. I didn't realize how much weight I had put on too, and when I did step on the scale that summer and I saw that I had gained so much more weight than I had even realized, I was shocked. I mean, like I said, I didn't realize that I had gained so much weight. It wasn't enough for me to have motivation to change my eating habits or to change my physical activity habits just based off of how I looked, because I felt like I looked fine and I was fine with it. I didn't, and having a specific body, goal, that was never like some kind of huge motivation for me. Maybe it's motivation for you, and maybe just in general trying to be healthy because you're really unhealthy is enough motivation for you too, and that's great. Really, bottom line, it just matters whatever your motivation is, and to always be thinking about that when you really don't want to lace up your shoes and go for a run. So we're hiking up this beautiful but really, really steep, like I want to say the trail itself was like 8 miles and 2,500 foot of elevation gain, and we had thought that it was like a 6 mile and like didn't know how much elevation gain it was. I mean, when I tell you, we were hiking for like 2 or 3 hours straight uphill. It was real bad. I mean, there was switchbacks. The switchbacks were straight uphill. It was rough, and we were at elevation, and I was just having a real hard time. You know, I just kept feeling like I'm gonna be fine. I'm gonna keep pushing on. I'm gonna keep going. Even though my heart was like pounding out of my chest, and I was feeling nauseous and a little dizzy. You know, I'm probably getting elevation sickness too. But I was like so determined we were gonna keep pushing on. Well, then we got to what I call the rock of disappointment. At that rock we were sitting on, my husband said, okay, I think we need to turn around. We're not going to make it there in time. And I was so disappointed because I really wanted to get to the lake because I was convinced that I was going to see a wild moose in all its glory. So while we were at this rock of disappointment, I was talking to my husband and I was like, well, what can I do to be a better hiker and to be able to actually make it? Decided that I was going to become a runner. And every time that I felt really unmotivated to go on a run, to push through, I was thinking to myself, I am doing this so that I can do the activities that I love, so that I can live a lifestyle of active adventure. And let me just tell you, having that motivation will also help you if you have any other kinds of challenges that arise. Within this 3.5 months that it took me to reach my goal, I had 3 major health kind of crises, a kidney stone, emergency root canal, and COVID. Still, I hit my goal. All of those setbacks probably would have made me stop or forget about my goal or just like not continue going. But my actual motivation, being so a part of who I want to become, that is what pushed me to keep going. Also prayer, okay? Also a lot of prayer, being like, Lord, I really want to do this. Please help me to have the strength to do this. And sometimes that's like literally all you're thinking about when you're running is just, Lord, please be here with me, and I know I can do this, but I really want to quit right now. I hope these tips, and especially my story about what motivated me, will help you think about what can motivate you to become a runner and to stick to your goals this year. I'll see you out on the trails.
The darn Squatchy. It's hard to catch up to.